My name is Dan Dorval, and I'm President and CEO of Dorval and Cherney Financial Advisors. I am an independent certified financial planner and author of my book, Financial Success for the Rest of Us, Reality-Based Financial Planning for Mainstream America.
Hi, my name is Leah Woodley. I'm an associate financial advisor with Dorval and Cherney Financial Advisors. Our conversations discuss what it means to do quality of life planning in all areas of your life.
Dan, it's time once again to give another Quality of Life Nurse Award. Why don't you tell us about this month's recipient?
Well, our September Quality of Life Nurse Award winner is Ashley Kastner Childers, and she is an HCMC nurse, so Hennepin County Medical Center, and she was nominated by one of her coworkers for a lot of her compassion with her patients. She is a single mom of two, so she is juggling a lot on her plate right now and doing a wonderful job as a nurse. So we are very excited to share her story with our viewers.
All right, well, let's bring her on. Congratulations on being our Quality of Life Nurse Award recipient.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
Well, so we always just ask a few questions. Why don't you just tell us a little bit about yourself and, part of your nursing story as far as, working through how you got started, the types of things you deal with every day.
Sure. So I am a single mom of two little ones. I have a 2-year-old and a 4-year-old. I'm sure will be joining us. um, I grew up in North Dakota, went to college in Montana, started my nursing career back in North Dakota. Then I was a travel nurse for several years, so traveled around the country. Wanted to be closer to home, so came back to Minnesota. Well, came to Minnesota. And I've been here for 7 years. And at HCMC, I've been there for about the 7 years that I've been here. Working in the ICU, we see very critical patients in very traumatic situations, and I just love the work that I do there, being supportive of the families and helping explain things, and talking through the process of things. I always try to be, one-on-one with my patients and families when I'm there, and I've had people make comments about that to me before too. Just, thank you for being so present, and even just talking to the families, getting to know the families. And I've actually had a couple people from my hometown that were flown here from North Dakota. So that's, a whole different thing, but it's so stressful and people don't know what happens. And so I really try to encompass the families and explain things to them and try to be supportive to them. And of course, taking care of my patients and helping my coworkers, just so we can all do the best we can and get the best outcomes for our patients and their families.
Well, that's exactly why we celebrate nurses for their contributions to quality of life. And you talk about being present, but you also mentioned being a single mom of two. And so you're juggling a lot in your life. How do you deal with that whole, dynamic of I've got a lot of pressures at home, I've got a lot of pressures at work, and how do you do that and still remain present for your patients?
Yeah, just trying to separate the two, knowing that when I'm at work, like that's what my focus is, and knowing that what's going on at home is what's going on there, and I'll get back to that later. But just really trying to be there for the patients and their families and the people who really need me most when we're there. That's what we're there for.
Well, I think a lot of people don't realize that. And that's part of this whole story is we had a lot of discussions about COVID, back when that was a very difficult environment for nurses. But just on a day-to-day basis, you're dealing with people when they're generally, maybe going through one of their worst times in life. They're having a health issue, they're having problems. And then, you still have to deal with your life too. So, we appreciate all of your contributions, not only to your patients and, your peers, of course, helping out other nurses, but then for your family as well. So congratulations on winning our Quality of Life Nurse Award. And, we appreciate all that you're doing for all of those groups of people.
Yeah, absolutely. Like you're saying, it's, if part of the reason I went into nursing, my mom is a grandma, and my mom is, well, she's a grandma, but my mom is a nurse. And my grandma was a nurse. And so I just grew up around it, I remember looking at books and nursing books when I was growing up and seeing what my mom and grandma did for people and helping people. And that's, I wanted to be part of that too. And this one, she's got my caregiving personality. She's always looking out for brother and doing things for brother. And you're a good little helper, aren't you, sister? So I wouldn't be surprised if she follows my path of the caretaking.
Well, one question we like to ask is, what piece of advice would you give to other nurses who are interested in improving the quality of life of others, whether it be their patients, their coworkers, or just people in their community?
Yeah, I think, like you were saying, just trying to be present in the moment. It's hard when there's so much else going on, but really trying to focus on patients and, you just being present in the moment, no matter where you are, even if you're home, like really, and that's hard too, because you see these people in critical conditions and, that weighs on your mind and you wonder what happened to them and, hope for the best. And we always love when we see them come back again and they're in much better condition than they were. But, when I'm with my kids, I just really try to focus on that and just do the best you can, be the best person you can. And yeah.
That's great advice. And congratulations again on winning this award. We do send out a $500 cash award. So I hope that you can find a use for that. And maybe someday we will be nominating your daughter as a Quality of Life Nurse Award.
Yeah, she's really a sweetheart. So I actually have my grandma's nursing bag right here. She
Oh,
passed
wow.
here, but it's her old nursing bag, and she's otoscope and a couple other things from her nursing career. She was mostly a school nurse, but she loved what she did. She was always trying to get me to take over her position as a school nurse, and then she's in a tiny town in Montana.
Wow. Well, it's great that you get to continue the legacy.
Yeah. It's a great career. I love helping people and I love being supportive and I just have that caring, nurturing personality and I really do enjoy what I do, which is why I've been there for so long. It's a stressful career. It's the number one, or it was the number one center in the nation. The worst patients, like the sickest patients with the best outcomes, and it's just a great team and a great place to work. If you have to be in that position, like that's the best place to be is there.
Well, we appreciate you taking the time to, share your story with us today. And
Thank you. I appreciate it.
all right,
Thank
have a good
you.
day.
Have a good one.
Say bye.
Bye.
Bye.